For the last time this year, the American Le Mans Series gathers together for the 9th and ultimate round of the championship. This is the second time they've raced here this season, but this time it's 10 long, hard hours of racing that they have to survive. Just moments before the cars rolled out for the first of the qualifying sessions, it started to rain. Not that that turned out to be too much of an issue for the Alex Job team, who perfectly coped with the change in the conditions and once again set pole in the GT class. The Ferraris were on fine form in the GTS class, as was pretty much expected. And this time, they're 3 of the Pro-Drive prepared Ferraris, but setting the pole time was the 80 car, with David Brabham back with Jan Magnussen and Anthony Davidson. Stefan Johansson rejoins the champion team this weekend, who went second in the 900 class and third overall, with everything to drive for championship-wise. The 16 car was again on good form and topping the 675 class and harassing once more the Audis. And this was again a circuit that was going to suit the turbo-powered package, but again they had to hope that reliability would stay in their favour. Luckily for the Yerst Audi team, the 16 car didn't get a chance to prove the speed, as Marco Werner cruised to an overall pole for the final time this year by 7/10 of a second, despite the rain.
Yeah, I'm very happy, but the conditions for me are very good. I mean, I like this condition, difficult condition. Well, it's not so easy. You have a not really dry line, and after the wet, it was a little bit dangerous, but I like this condition, and thank you for the Infineon Team US and to the Michelin guy. We make a very big step in the car. That's a little bit the secret of this practice.
And here is the start. James Weaver is already putting the moves on the Audi as they come round. They've got the green flag, they're away. And James Weaver has taken the lead into the first turns. And now the number 1 Audi is coming under pressure as we go on board with 38 JJ Leto, who's just gone past the number 1 Audi. So the number 1 Audi down to 3rd place now. And James Weaver, look at him going. That 6.75 is already pulled out around about half a second as they go through the S's very tight, difficult part of the circuit as they come down the hill. There's Olivier Bretta in the number 10 Panos, the JML Panos in 4th place, and it's the 11 Panos behind with Scott Maxwell on board in 5th place at the moment. The last race potentially that we'll see the LMP01s in the JML guys, and there's the GTS boys already getting lively in there as we go on board inside the number 3 car. That's the 0 olive green car ahead, and a whole load of Ferraris that the Corvettes have got to get through today. They really have their work cut out, but there is a Corvette just ahead of that as we see problems already for Kevin Buckler. He's got a puncture in the Racers Group Porsche, so problems for him and problems for James Weaver, who's into the pit lane. An electrical problem has been reported back to the pits, so from the lead he's suddenly in a very difficult position. They need to get that car sorted and get it out straight away. Well, JJ Leto leads the race then. Marco Werner now moves back up to 2nd place with James Weaver off track, and these of course 1st and 2nd in the 900 class. But disappointment for the Dyson team already on the opening lap. But good news for certainly the Audis, who can start to get away now and put some laps down on them. Well, James Weaver having all sorts of problems.
You've clouds of smoke behind you, James. Switch off.
Well, made his way out of the pits, but now some sort of oil leak or other, or the problem causing difficulties for that car as he moves off the track at turn 2. Anxious moments for the team and anxious moments for the olive green Raffinelli team, because that is a whole heap of damage to the number 0 car. There was an incident, we're told, with the Porsche. Here we are on board, gets into a bit of a spin and ends up in the middle of the track, and then tries obviously to get him, and hits one of the Alex Job Porsches. And there is the 24 car with a door missing, and that will cause a lot of problems for that car, and difficult times in the Dyson pit. That's James Weaver.
So we think we've got 2 separate, hopefully, problems. If they're interrelated, that's probably us done. So we're going to change the turbo, change the startinator, have a cup of tea, go again.
A bit of work to do for the corner workers at turn 12, because Johnny Molan has crashed the Peterson Porsche and had a problem. Oh, and look at this is Frank Bieler, who's also had an off as well, and quite a bit of damage to that Audi. And here's a replay then. Here he is just coming down from the top now and just gets it onto the grass and goes sideways, tries to control it, but then hits the wall quite hard on the right-hand side. That was a very unfamiliar incident to see Frank Bieler with. A long time since we've seen him crashing a car, but it's still moving, and now he's on into the entry to the pit lane, and the Audi team will be ready and waiting to dive on that car, and I think we'll see him go behind the wall to their pit box, to the garage, where they can work on the car quicker and easier with more people allowed as well, not with any pit lane restrictions. So, great news though. That was for, of course, JJ Leto, who we're on board with now, who is leading the race. This is the Urs team with their car now, working on it, and working on the rear as well. Oh, and problems for the 20 car, Chad Block.
Car looks pretty messed up.
Well, he's hit the wall at turn 2, and he had moved up to first place in the 675 class as well, so the Dyson team hoping that maybe they can get that car back and get it repaired. Taking the opportunity now to head into the pits for fuel and tyres and a changeover to Johnny Herbert. We are expecting for the race leader to have a whole heap of time in hand now, as the pit lane is just flooded with automobiles. And a reminder that it's JJ Leto that could win this championship. Johnny Herbert can't, because he's points behind JJ Leto from driving for Bentley at Sebring at the beginning of the race, but JJ still in with a chance of winning that championship. Thomas Enger getting inside the GTS P1 car, the 88 ProDrive Ferrari. Well, unlucky was Larry Alberto, who's crashed into the flatbed truck that was there to recover the 20 car, which they managed to restart, and it's on its way back to the pits. But now the recovery is for the 30 car, and that looks to be very badly damaged indeed. But now also Frank Bieler is back on track. We just caught sight of him there as we get the green flag, and we're going to go again this time. Frank Bieler, the repairs took 10.5 minutes to that number 1 car, and they lost 11 laps on the track. They had the front splitter replaced, the nose and the rear transaxle as well, as we're on board inside the 23 car now in the GT class. Lucas Law inside the car, leading in the GT class at the moment. Johnny O'Connell and Andy Pilgrim there in the 2 yellow Chevrolet Corvette C5Rs. Difficult race they had in Miami, and it's not been going that well for them this weekend. And there's the BMW, nice to see that out as well this weekend, the 6 car. And now, after quite some time, Chris Dyson is bringing the number 20 car back out, which is good news for them, as we see David Salins now back up to 2nd place in the number 10 JML Panos, as Marco Werner is now up to 3rd place, but is laps behind the Panos.
You see how quickly something can happen. I mean, it was a stupid situation, and I did not have this in 4 years. But sooner or later it happens, and unfortunately it happens today.
Thomas Enger has got into a bit of a spin. That's at turn 1, and he's made contact with the number 1 car, we're told. And looking to see if there's any damage. A lot of gravel coming out of that car, but oh, there's certainly fluid and everything coming out of that car. That's Jeff Swart in the 67 Racers Group Porsche, and that looks to be the end of his race. And here's a replay of him going off. That must have been contact, I think, which sent him off at that part of the circuit and hit the wall very hard indeed. A little bit of a strange accident. And here's a replay now between the Ferrari and number 1 Marco Werner. Just a nudge to the side, and that sent him into a spin. Little bits of carbon fibre just coming off from the underside there. But is there any damage to the number 1 Audi? Well, in the pits now, we have a change over for the 38 car, as Johnny Herbert is handing back over to JJ Leto. David Brabham has changed over to Anthony Davidson, and he heads out of the pits now, which will give them the lead then. Oh no, he's got stuck. He's being held for some reason in the pits, and he comes out now, but the 88 car has just got ahead of him. So they are, I think, going to get back into the order. And there is the Dyson 20 car as well in the line, the Alex Job car, the olive green car against the concrete wall, and that has been another incident for the car. That's at turn 7. We're on board now. Let's find out what happens. Just goes into the turn, gets it wrong, and it's over the grass. He can't stop. And surely now, that is the end of the olive green Ferrari. Lucas Law leading the GT class in the 23 car. Second place is Anthony Lazzaro in that car, the Rizzi Competizione Ferrari 360 Modena. And what a great season they've had. They've really been competitive and really starting to pressure the Alex Joe Porsches towards the end of the year. Corvette behind that Ferrari.
Well, pushing the Porsches, we're driving our race, and I guess they're also driving their race. It's going to be tough to beat the Alex Joe cars. But well, we've got a couple of hours left.
As we go on board now inside the this is the 3 car, the 3 Corvette. Johnny O'Connell, who is 3rd in class and 7th overall at the moment, so not going too badly.
Well, it is what it is. You know, we kind of anticipated the pace of the Ferraris being quick, and you know, we're just trying to hang in there.
That is the number 80 car, the Care Racing Ferrari, one of 3 they've gone out this weekend. Sounding absolutely incredible. They really are so distinctive and so awesome to hear on the trackside. But David Brabham in 2nd place in the GTS class at the moment. 1st place is, unsurprisingly, the 88 car, Thomas Enger, inside that, in P1 in the GTS class. And there is David Brabham. Well, the 2 Alex Joe Porsches on the circuit, and you can see a whole lot of creativeness from the Alex Job team on the side of that 24 car. That's the car that lost the door before after the incident quite early on with the 0 car, the olive green Ferrari. Now we're looking at 2nd and 3rd place. That is Olivier Beretta inside the 10 car. And Marco Werner now in the number 1 car will be getting his way past to take back another lap. Not if Olivier can stop him. And Olivier has been fabulous in this car this year. Really, really enjoys racing. And the 20 car in the pits, and problems for that car again. They're having to do some more work on that. And still these 2 together on the track, and Olivier making that Panos very wide indeed, but this time has to yield to the Audi, and the Audi pulls back a lap and out once more. We are quite some way off. Oh, and Marco Werner just got unsighted there by the cars in front of him. Has gone into the gravel. This is the 276 lap, which if they complete it, will bring them up to 70% race distance. Well, he's got the car. Look at the gravel spewing out the back now. But he's got to complete this lap. If he doesn't complete it under their own steam, that is the end of the championship for them. So this is nail-biting stuff.
It probably was just not our weekend. I mean, when I crashed, I really thought it's over. Thanks God I brought the car back into the pits. We made it again.
Well, huge relief, and that number 1 car will stay the number 1 car now, regardless of where they finish. They've completed enough distance to secure the championship, so great relief from the number 1 pit. Bit of disappointment, I would think, with the 38 team, as the Corvette comes down the hill with the Ferrari behind, but ahead the leading GTS car, and it's going to be a great way for the Care Racing Ferraris to finish off. No news on what they're planning next year. We know that ProDrive were hoping that somebody else would take over preparing the Ferraris. They're involved with Aston Martin next year as well. But at the moment, Alan Menu inside that GTS leading car, the 550 Maranello. A quick dive into the pits. This was not quite scheduled. Information is that they suspected a slow puncture on the car. No fuel. Well, a little bit of fuel went in there, I think, but driver changing over as well. So Marco Werner now handing back over to Frank Bieler, and that car is about to be fired up and brought back out onto the circuit again as well. They're still in 2nd place at the moment.
It's a very hard day. You see, everything is possible. We have a lot of troubles in this race, accidents, spin-off. Problem with the car. With the tire now was a problem with the tire. we see a sign from the tire that we have a low pressure or the damaged tires. But was wrong, the tire was okay, by a wrong sign. But for safety, it's okay. It was the left tire. If you have a problem with the left tire in the last or in the first corner with fifth gear or sixth gear with 260 kilometers per hour, you have a big accident, and that was okay. Which driver change, full service.
Johnny Herbert now in the pits. JJ Leto taking over for the final stint of the race. They have got bags of time at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to the motor plane just because we've got such a lead at the moment, which is lovely because you can go out there and drive around, passing the majority of the cars just down the straight. There's no need to pass them around the corners and risk anything whatsoever. So I just kept it clean and kept out of trouble, and I think I was doing sort of 16, 18s, and I thought, I don't care what time I'm doing, as long as I'm out of trouble, don't hit anything, I'll be fine.
And there's a bit of a brake fire. That's just where the discs have got so hot. And because the car isn't moving, it just started to ignite. But no real problem. Very quickly, and the tyres are being changed on the final lap now for the champion Audi. It's not going to be a championship win, but it is going to be a Petit Le Mans win. It's going to be another milestone in the history of the team, and through the checkered flag they go, and quite rightly cheers on the pit wall as the fireworks herald the end of the race. And it's the end of the race, unbelievably, for Boris Said in the 6th car at turn 5, an engine fire for that BMW. The champion Audi team take their 4th win of the year ahead of a delighted JML Paynol's team in 2nd. John Field and Duncan Dayton get one more win in the 675 class, and a good day for Ferrari in the GTS class. And in the GTs, it was the 24 Alex Job team car that won ahead of their teammates, with Ralph Kellners and Anthony Desaro 3rd in the class.
I have been looking for this win for so many years already, and it was nice to do with Champion Racing this year. Yes, I mean, unfortunately that was not enough, but we had a couple of bad races this year. We tried our best throughout the season. You know, we have 4 wins, years have 4 wins, you know, that just shows how professional Champion Racing is nowadays and how much better they got throughout the year. So we can challenge anybody.
The Care Racing team had a great day also, with all the cars finishing, but the Cox, Enger and Menu combination taking the GTS class win, and 2nd place with the 80 car, and the 3rd car coming in to finish 11th.
We deserve it. I mean, last year we were unlucky. We came just 2nd, but this year we finally get the right place where we should be.
So the championships are finally confirmed after 9 rounds of close racing, and after thousands of miles have been completed, both on track and off it as well, as the teams and drivers made their way around America and also into Canada.